and Ginny, right? But we do have a quorum, I believe.
Gary said she would be joining us.
Okay, we can be a little patient. It's only 3:01.
And I'm going to, at this time, is it okay if I let in the public to start viewing the meeting there?
I guess so, yes.
Okay. So now we'll see attendees be able to join in if there's anyone waiting. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Channel 22, just so you know.
Okay, well, I think we can begin. I would like to welcome you all to the April 16th meeting of the Exeter River Advisory Committee. And we'll begin. The first one thing I want to say is that we have this COVID-19 virus situation, which according to RSA 91A-23B allows committees to meet virtually due to the state of emergency that we're in. So it's possible to hold public meetings in these virtual environments. Welcome to a Zoom meeting. And Terry has just joined us. That's good.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. So far, let's call the roll so we know for the record who's here. I am Richard Huber, the chair, and we have Dan Jones. You want to, yep, there he is.
Present.
Carl Wilkstrom. He's present. Warren Biggins.
Hello.
He's present. And Nico, and you're going to have to help me with your last name.
Sure, it's Papa Costandis. I'm present and I'm alone in the room.
Alone there. Oh, yes, I wanted to ask, is there anyone here who is not alone in the room so we know who's here to hear the meeting? You're all alone in the room.
I am not. My husband is here in the room too.
Okay.
Right now, I am at home. I mean, I am alone in my kitchen, but my wife may wander through to get coffee.
Okay, in all fairness, my wife is in the other room and could come in at any moment. All right, if I missed anything, I think that is our current quorum. So I think we can begin our meeting. The first item in the agenda is the minutes of the February 20th meeting, and they have been looked at and revised, and you all have received the revised version. Does anyone want to make a comment or request a change on the minutes? Should I call the roll and get, I guess we'll vote on approving the minutes, and then you'll have an opportunity to
And Dick, if I could just jump in real quick, just in case this is some people's first Zoom meeting with the town, for the board members, but also for the general public, you should see a participant tab down at the bottom. And if you click that, you'll see like a pop-up of, who's in the meeting if you're on the board or a staff member. And there should be a button to raise your hand. And that's the way you can let Dick, as the chair, know that you want to speak, or if you're in the public attending the meeting, you can do so by pressing the raise hand button, or if you're called in on a phone, which I don't think anyone right now is, but if you were, you could do *9 and it would, raise your hand. So then Dick and myself can see that you wish to speak, and then he can recognize you. That way it helps to, keep people from cutting each other off and whatnot. So.
Okay, so I have a list on the right side of my screen that lists 10 panelists that are present. and there's a button at the bottom that says raise hand. And I'm wondering what that would look like if somebody did it. Well, how would I know?
I'll raise my hand.
I just
There,
did.
like that.
I'll lower it.
Okay, Nico, I see the hand. That's how that works. Okay, there's a blue hand that shows up.
Yep, and it also shows up over the video if you were looking at gallery view. But what the list will show you, Dick, is who raised their hand first. Because if they raise their hand first, they're at the top of the list. So you let them talk first, and you can go down the way. But it's at your discretion to recognize people because you're the chair. So it's however you want to do it. But that's how it's organized when it shows up over there.
Okay, and then Bob and Celeste have a little red dot next to their names. I guess because their video is off. Is that what that is?
The red dot refers to the recording. So mine looks like a little cloud with a red dot, and that's because we're recording the meeting to the cloud, and she's recording it to the computer so she can, do minutes and whatnot. I think all of you could record as we're going to have the recording. So.
Okay, and if I wanted to raise my hand, do I click the colored button next to my name? Or do I click? How do you raise your hand? Or what does that look like when you push the button at the bottom?
So it should look like a kind of off-white button, and it says raise hand in black letters, and you press that.
Yeah, and then the blue hand comes up. Okay, I got it. Thank you very much. Okay, we've all pored over the minutes and looked at it, and we're happy with them. Shall I take a call for vote? All in favor of approving the second version of draft minutes for approval, please say aye. I guess that will. I guess everybody.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Anybody saying nay? Anybody abstaining? Okay, my guess is that we can say that the minutes have been approved unanimously.
It looks like Terry was raising her hand, so I don't know if she wanted to speak to that.
Hi, Terry. Did you have a?
Excuse me. No, I just pushed the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry,
All
I didn't
right.
find the raise your
Terry,
hand
it should
button.
now say lower hand. You can take it down.
Where is it?
The same place you.
Celeste, you can find the raise hand button. If you got to open the
Thank you.
and then on the right side it'll be the raise hand button.
Uh-huh.
Right, we are moving right along.
I'd like to ask a question if I could. I can't
Yes,
raise my
you can.
When you vote, if you would say your name and then yay or nay, because it went really fast. I got Terry, I got Carl. I don't know who else voted.
And I'll backtrack a little bit. Nico can jump in if he wants, but due to the remote meeting, you should have a roll call vote for every vote that you make. So if you guys have a clerk on your board, or the chair can do it, but you just do a roll call vote. So you'll have to call out every member and ask, their vote. And that way the secretary has it that way as well.
That's correct.
Okay, so Richard Huber, the chair, is voting aye for this approval for this set of minutes. Carl Wilkstrom,
I vote aye.
Dan Jones,
Aye.
Nico,
I abstained since I wasn't on the committee then.
okay, Terry,
Aye.
Warren,
Aye.
and Lionel's here. Lionel's in somewhere.
He's muted, it looks like.
Lionel has joined us. Okay, I believe we have a quorum worth of votes and no abstentions and no not nays, right? So we want to wait for Lionel's vote? Not getting a video for Lionel yet either.
Lionel, I just unmuted you so you can see if you can talk. if you're having some trouble, feel free to shoot me an email, Lionel, and I can work with you on the side to get your audio working.
Final. Well, while we're waiting for Lionel, let me proceed with an item. Paul Vlasich said that he wouldn't most likely be able to come to our meeting, but he did send me an email, which I can read to you, and I can forward it to Celeste so she'll have it to put in the minutes. Okay? So what Paul wrote to me was, "Hello, Dick. Most likely I won't be able to join in on the Zoom meeting tomorrow. Here's a quick update on the projects. Pickpocket Dam, item 1. The emergency action plan was sent to NHDES Dam Safety Bureau for their review. Item 2, VHB is putting together a scope for the 2.5 times 100-year storm analysis. We are very close to sending a contract to the select board for approval." And then under that, he has the Great Dam, the Aquatic Mitigation Fund, known as ARM, that we received $100,000 from, requires 2 more years of river monitoring. The fund will consider relaxing this requirement after review of an additional report on vegetation reestablishment in the work area. VHB is preparing this report for their consideration. And then a third item, draft Great Bay Total Nitrogen General Permit. And the first comment under that item is the town's legal counsel is McLean Middleton. Wright Pierce and Geo Syntech are reviewing the permit on behalf of the town. And 3, the comment period has been extended to May 8th, 2020. So, and then he says, "Thanks, Paul." So I got this email from Paul. So that's sort of a little update on the 3 items that he wanted to report on had he been able to attend the meeting. And again, I'll forward this email to Celeste so she doesn't have to transcribe the words I just spoke.
Thank you.
Still no Lionel that I'm seeing. Did he get he's still listed, but he's not online that we can see him. Okay, now the next item on the agenda I had as an update on Warrant Article 14. And the first thing I would like to say about that is thank you to the voters who passed this vote. 1,354 to 1,115, which is a 54.8% approval for the $110,000 that will fund the contract with VHB to proceed with the hydrologic study related to the Pickpocket Dam. So does anybody else want to make any comments about Article 14 and its passage? Okay, we're moving right along. Other than that, I had just other business. So I wondered if anybody came forward with any news for our organization. Hearing none.
So I don't know if you have the participant tab still open, Dick, but if you look next to people's names, just be watching that because Kristen raised her hand there.
Oh, there you are, Kristen Murphy. Yes, please. Do I have to click something to make that work?
Nope. We should be able to hear you now, Kristen. I'm not sure if your headset got disconnected again.
Yeah, no, my internet connection's a little unstable, but I just wanted to let the committee know that although it's questionable at this time whether the training will be in person or not, we are still at this time preparing the Volunteer River Assessment Program water quality monitoring. So if that's something that you're interested in participating in, there is a training that's scheduled for Memorial Day weekend. It's May 23rd. So you can send me an email if that's something you want to be a part of, and I can set you up with training. It's basically a couple hours. I'm assuming it will move to a virtual training at this point. And then our sampling season is June, July, and August of each year.
Okay. I made a quick note. I'm sure Celeste will capture that for the minutes. That'll be good. Okay, do we have anything else in the category of public comment or other business? I see flags raised. Nico.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Briefly, the Select Board are going to be reappointing those committee members whose terms expire on April 30th at our next meeting, which is April 27th. And Pam McElroy from the Town Manager's Office has sent out an email to all those committee members whose terms expire April 30th. So if you haven't responded to Pam yet, if you would please this week, so that we can get you reappointed if that's what you're interested in.
Okay, in 2020, that's Lionel and Rod. Anyone else that I'm aware of that expires this year?
I believe it was just those two.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
And we have a hand from Don Clement. Let's hear from Don.
Hi, good afternoon. In your report from Paul Vlasic, you mentioned a couple of things. One was a report that had already been sent in, and the other was a report that was pending, being done by VHB and Geosyntic. I guess my question really is to Chairman Papagastathis. Will those reports be available at some point in time, maybe on the town website for general review, for the public review, I should say?
Yes, Don, I believe they will be.
Okay, because I mean, they're very, I think they're very critical reports. Some people like an opportunity to review them or at least have that information. I know one of them is being sent and the other is in progress. But when that time comes, because I know Geosyntic and PHB do excellent research, and it would be very worthwhile to get that information. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so again, is there any other business or public comment? Well, then I guess we're at the point where we need to decide on our next meeting. Are we having such a good time meeting this way that we want to do it again in May 21st, the third Thursday in May at 3 o'clock? Let's see, I guess I have to do a roll call vote, don't I? Richard Huber, the chair, thinks that that's an appropriate time for the next meeting. What about Nico?
Aye.
Harry?
Aye.
Carl?
Aye.
Dan?
Yep.
Warren?
Aye.
Did I miss anybody? Because my list jumped. I think that's everybody who's present. Okay, so we'll set the next meeting. I missed Terry? Oh, Terry. She's got her mic off.
Aye, it's good.
Very good, excellent. Okay, so we're agreed that we're going to have our next meeting on May 21st at 3 o'clock. And if we're still doing it this way, we'll do it this way. All right, I guess now we can move to adjourn.
I'll just jump in before that. If anyone had any issues with, like, it seems like most of you, this worked out. Lionel, if you can hear me, feel free to reach out to me in an email, and maybe we can set up a time to make sure your audio and stuff works next time. There's a few different ways to connect to the meeting. So yeah. And if anyone else has questions about, how Zoom works or what we can do with it, just send me a message.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready to conclude? I believe we are. Thank you very much for doing this. It's an interesting experiment, and we made it work. That's good. So I guess we can let Bob close the meeting as the host, right?
And I could be wrong. Nico can correct me. I think the vote to adjourn is the only vote that doesn't have to be a roll call vote. So you can just, make that decision.
We just need a motion to adjourn in a second.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn. I'll move that we adjourn. And Carl has seconded it.